Welcome to Document Agility. Today we're going to learn about external user interviews. Document Agility allows you to share an interview for a specific transaction with an external party, such as a client or possibly external legal counsel. In order to do this, you first need to log in as the creator account, and underneath this account, go and create an account for the company you want to share the interview with, and specifically an account for the user that you want to share this particular interview with. So we're going to do that by clicking on the Account Settings link, and from within Account Settings, clicking on Manage under the External Accounts column. This will show us whether or not we have any external accounts, and at the moment we don't. So let's go ahead and create a new account. Now this is the company for which we're going to share this particular interview. The only required field is the account name field. So let's go ahead and put in an account name like Acme Widget Corporation. We don't need to fill in the rest of the information, but you can if you'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and create Acme Widget Company. And now that I've got a company account, I'm going to need to add a user to it so that I can share my interview with that particular user. To do this, I'm going to click Manage on Users for this account that I've created for ABC Widget Company. At the moment, I don't have any users in this particular account, so I'll click Create New User. When I do that, I'll be prompted to fill in the user's details. The green asterisk indicates the fields which are required. So I'll put in a name, potentially a name like Joe Client. I'll place in an email address, jclient@acmewidget.com. I'll put in a username, jclientacme. And I'll put in a password and be sure to confirm the password. Then I'll click Create. And now I have Joe Client as a user under the Acme Widget Company. And this is all that I need in order to get started. I can then come back to my workspace by clicking My Workspace, and then I'll select a transaction, say for example the MNO Health Plan, and click on the health plan itself. That will bring up the transaction details screen. Now I haven't yet created this particular transaction for a specific client, so I'll go ahead and choose a particular client. Let's choose the client I just created, the Acme Widget Company. I'll click Save, and now this transaction is connected with Acme Widget Company. And because Acme Widget has a user already set up for this account, I get an extra section down in the bottom of the transaction details screen called Collaborate with External Users. And here is where I can choose the user I want to share an interview with, and then under Selected Associated Interview, I can actually choose the interview itself. I'll choose the New Customer Request Interview. I could, if I want, expire the interview so that it gives Joe Client only a certain number of days or weeks in order to answer the questions inside of the interview. But I'll give Joe an unlimited amount of time. I'll then click the Invite button, and that will set up our collaboration. If we scroll back down to the bottom here, we can see that the external user Joe Client for the company Acme Widget is being given access to the interview, New Customer Request Interview. So here we're going to now go to take a look at what this actually looks like on our workspace. If we were to go back to our workspace and take a look at the MNO Health Plan, we can see by this icon that this plan is out for collaboration or waiting for an external user to answer interview questions. So let's go take a look from the actual user's point of view, the external user's point of view, what that process looks like. The first thing to note is that Joe is going to receive an email, and it's going to instruct him to go to portal.documentagility.com for the main login, and it's also going to give Joe his user ID and password. So we'll go there now. Back at the login screen, we'll type in jclient@acme and our password, and we'll log in. It's a very simple user interface for the external user. It simply starts with a Start Interview button. We'll click the Start Interview button, and this will bring up the interview with our series of questions to answer. So here we'll fill in the information. Most of this is already filled in for us because I'm using an existing pattern just to speed through this particular demonstration. After everything is answered, we'll click the Finish button. This will bring us back to the main screen where we can choose to edit our answers or mark our answers as done. We'll go ahead and mark our answers as done. This will warn us that we're not going to be able to answer the questions in this interview session again, which we're fine because we've completed what we needed to do. We'll click Complete, and we're thanked for submitting our interview. Now let's head back over and take a look at what things look like back in our Creator user screen. As we log in as our main Creator user, we'll be taken again to our workspace. And here we can see through this icon that our collaboration is complete. So let's take a look. We'll come back to the transaction, and we'll scroll down to the bottom in the Collaborate with External Users section, and we can now see that for Joe Client, the status is completed. At this point, we have the answers from Joe that we need. So we can either go back into the interview and see what Joe's answers were and just make sure things are correct, or we can actually go and generate documents from our available documents section. And that's all there is to it. That concludes our look at external user interviews. Thank you.